And this is a crazy statistic because most of the studios that I talk to, you go to their website and they don't put any pricing. No price. They don't even look at their website. It's a blah. It's a blah. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Fit to Grit Cast. I'm your host, Zach Coleman, and we're going to kind of go off of last week's topic of pricing, and we're going to kind of go a little bit deeper into something that we do on a normal basis. Website pricing. What are some of the website secrets? When and how should you show your pricing to really start boosting that sustainable growth for your fitness studio? There's actually a report out by MindBody that showcases that studios that strategically price their studio on their website receive a 25% higher client inquiry and acquisition. I mean, that's crazy, right? 25%. And this is a crazy statistic because most of the studios that I talk to, you go to their website and they don't put any pricing. No price. They don't even look at their website. It's a blah. It's a blah. And I'm not saying that a website's the only way that you're going to perform. And I'm not saying AI, we're looking in the future, but everyone just assumes that websites are dead. When in reality, in today's environment, websites are probably going to be your second or third trust touch point for someone wanting to come to you and know if you're going to fit within their community and their values, right? So let's kind of talk about that today. Hey everyone, hold on a second. I have to tell you guys something very exciting. We just developed a new plugin made for you and your multi-studio website. This multi-studio website plugin really adapts all of your offers, trainers, calendars into one seemingly easy to use front-end experience for new members thinking about joining your fitness studio. So if you want to get more quality leads and you're looking to just really save on cost with all of these website updates on a constant basis, head over to GymMark right now and either sign up with us, get the plugin for free, or have your web developer or manager purchase the plugin on the side and you can utilize it for your website. Again, head over to GymMark now, take advantage of that plugin. V1 is out now. So one huge question that I see fitness studios really facing is whether or not they should start listing their pricing on their website. Many studio owners hide this and just hope for really just lazy client acquisition. I don't know what happened to this industry, but it drives me crazy. But it's just like, get us 100 leads tomorrow because they think that getting them 100 leads without showing any clear information, it's like they're being lazy, and so they're getting lazy clients in return. It's really what it comes down to. They're getting lazy inquiries because they're being lazy about their marketing and their communication. Go back and watch our last episode on pricing pitfalls. You can view that right up here if you want to watch that video. But in regards to pricing on your website, it's crazy to me, right? I'm kind of in a different story. If you go back to that last video that I just mentioned, you'll see that I talk about volume versus value base. I really do think studios are in this special format, especially boutique studios are in this format of they can have a pretty good offer and a pretty good price because people want experiences in today's day and age. AI has done the exact opposite of what everyone thought it was going to do. They all think Amazon's going to take over the world. They all think Amazon's retail's dead. And yeah, retail's taken quite a bit of hit. Studios have taken quite a bit of hit because of online YouTube channels and training and stuff. But now with more people working at home, more people want to get out. And the studio is your experience. That's where they're going to build their community, And so let's talk about how websites really affect that, right? So last year I took a trip with my wife. We went to this place called Shields. I don't know if you've ever heard of Shields. It took over a part of the mall. It took over an old Dillard's in the mall because the Dillard's were starting to go away because of the retail issue. But it was a whole experience in there. We went in there. They had a huge fish tank. They had all different types of retail sections for all different kind of sports and athletic wear. And they were pricey. And they had a restaurant. They wanted you in there all day is really what it came down to. And I'm not saying studios want you in there all day. But what I am saying is it's the experience that made us want to continue to go back and go there. We buy something because we're there. I don't want to buy something on Amazon because I can't try it on. I'm not having a good experience with my family. It's just an easy, quick transaction. And that's made Easy, quick transactions are made for volume plays. I'm sorry, but people are willing to take a risk on $50 a month without talking to a human being. They are. 200 to 300 are not. And so, depending on your pricing model, you need to pay attention to how you're showing your pricing. And the reason I bring that up and that story up is because now let's look at the pros and cons putting it on your website. So, couple cons here. Couple cons of displaying your pricing on your website. Competitors could steal it. Competitors can steal your pricing. There's a way around that. That someone will see your price and then they won't call you. There's a way around that. And actually that's a vetting process. Number 3, a con of not putting your information on your website. You have too much and it's cluttered and maybe you're afraid that you're overburdening them. There's a way around that. So let's talk about some of those pros from those cons, right? A pro, going back to the same order I said before, a pro to showing your pricing on your website is one, when we talk about competitors, if you simplify your pricing, you give a very vague, back to what you said in the last video, but if you, not a vague, a strategic way of showing your prices. So for instance, if you say, again, back to my last video, if you want to watch it, go up there. If you talk about price as low as $90. You're not giving away the wheel here. Let your sales reps and your trainers convince you once they actually get you in the door and on the call to give you the other options. Give you as low as $90. Oh, but that's with the 12-month commitment, right? Your competitors won't know that. They would have to go shop you to understand what your prices are or to go in and do that. So that's the way around that. Another pro, we talked about your pricing being, you're afraid of not getting customers, right? Well, I'll be real with you. If you're pricing yourself between 125 to, I'll even say $400, $500 a month, you're in this middle ground. You're not volume, you're not value. So value, it's hard to show really high prices unless you're like selling appliances, right? Where people know it's a higher price. But then that one comes with even ways that they can strategically have you come in and buy stuff. So low prices, products show pricing all the time. Low product pricing, anything under a certain amount, even $1,000, but that's a one-time purchase, right? So it's lower. So that's a volume-based, that's why they show pricing. So you're kind of in the middle. You're kind of showing a $125 to $400 package. You're showcasing it online. What that's doing right there, especially if you simplify and you can kind of find a way to strategically place your pricing on as low as type situations, then one, you can change the rest of your pricing in a positive way internally without affecting the actual website when you go through pricing again. But two, you're going to weed out all those people that aren't willing to pay $93. Well, Zach, we get 5 people a month to showcase through that sort of lead gen perspective. We get everyone through other means or walk-ins. Well, I get that. That means you need to work a little bit more on your visibility. And that's a marketing play. I'm sorry. But what you need to really focus on is understanding that when you think about conversion rate, everyone's fearful over this 20%, but there's so many good studios that work with. I just met someone that, I'm hoping to become very good friends with. My Ars, he's part of Loud Rumor. We were talking a little bit about it. I was watching one of his videos and talking about it. And people have a close rate of 80, 90%. And it comes down to their sales training, right? And so you can have these higher numbers when they get on a call, but how do you get them in the front door beforehand? How do you get them in there? And that's where you have to look at that trust factor. And show, click, case, and clear pricing on your website is probably your second or third touch point perspective, right? That builds trust. So that's why you're not getting people on calls, is because you're not setting them through the common funnel of building trust. But you want to weed out those people that can't do your prices. Why? Because it's taking up all your time talking to people that aren't going to validate your service, or you're trying to sucker people into a challenge thinking that that's going to get them to stay as a client. And what ends up happening? They leave in like a month or two because they weren't even ready anyways. And so utilizing your pricing is also a form of weeding out those people that aren't a good fit for your studio. If you're just starting out, of course, I would not take this in the perspective. If you're just starting out, figure out pricing, work at it, grow at it, and then tailor it over time. But you do want to bring a little bit more volume at the beginning as you dictate your pricing. We have a client right now that's doing a great job. Like, they understood the premise. They opened their gym, their studio strong. They went right to marketing. They have an investment in marketing. And 3 months in, they're already retailoring their packages to be able to focus a little bit more on operations and their trainers and how they're making their sales, right? So you have that. And so those are just pros and cons of website, of why you should showcase pricing on your website. Hope the pros outbeat those cons for you. And if you have a web developer, I highly recommend, or a designer, web design firm, or whatever that's working on your website, I would highly recommend that you involve your pricing into your strategy, especially on first touch point, which is either an advertisement, retargeting ad, second touch point, which is like a Google My Business type situation, getting intent, and then they may search for you. And then third, which is your website, which is or a landing page. I highly disregard landing pages for the fitness industry. I think this is an e-com play. So I would only do a landing page if there's a certain type of campaign that you're really looking at. You don't need all these tripwire crap for a studio. We do a competitive campaign, for instance. If you want to learn more about that, call us. But that's besides the point. Those are the pros and cons of displaying pricing on your website. Strategic timing. When should you place certain pricing? When should you do certain things, right? Less detail is usually better. Like I said, less detail is better. But you're going to have certain circumstances within your studio, and you're going to start seeing, especially if you're beginning, and if you're not, you understand this already, you're going to have different ebbs and flows to when people come to the studio. For instance, you have New Year's resolutions. You get a lot of people. That's a good time to start doing campaigns. You have summer where people are leaving. If you live in a state where you have a lot of people that leave for the summer, like we do here in the hot Arizona area, you're going to have that stuff. And so you really have to pay attention to, when do we showcase certain pricing? Now, on your website itself, I don't think this matters. But what you can do is you can have a special offer price structure that you change out every 3 months. Like for summer birds or for this, you can do a post about it. You can do a Google My Business post. You can do a social media post, and or you strategically fit those things in. And so, not to get off topic here, you're going to have certain points. And so find those points in the year that, like clockwork, and make sure that you set it in your schedule to either come up with a new campaign, change your pricing a little bit. I mean, we have one client that every year, like clockwork, once it gets wintertime, he actually ups his prices because he knows there's not going to be as many people around and he needs to still bring in members, right? So that's something that you need to take into consideration, is strategically timing when to showcase deals and when to showcase pricing. I think really is seasonal. And so you really, especially in this industry, need to focus your pricing around that. So here's a big one with building the sustainable model. So if you don't know this, we have a webinar, Sustainable Model, that we're putting out right here, and how studios can start building profitability off of the sustainability lead flow model. But if you're interested in that, of course, DM me. I'm always around. I'll get you into the next one. For your website pricing, really at the end of the day, your website as a whole, you need to stop just looking at it as just a thing that you need. Your website's your hub, man. Like, it's not a Facebook page. I knew someone that got all their business off of a Facebook group, and then someone hacked their Facebook group and left, and they went from 800 a year down to 200 and were struggling because they would have had to create a whole new Facebook page and spend years building it up, all because they got hacked and they couldn't get it back. So you have to think about that stuff. The beauty with a website is that it's yours. When you build it, watch out for those development companies that try to say, hey, you don't get to keep your website, and of course pay them. But like, your website should be something that you grow with, and you grow with over the years as you continue to expand and grow. It's not just an item. It's your positioning statement. It's a place for someone to view all of your classes and the experience that they can get and be provided with before they come in. So visually communicate that position, communicate that with your messaging, and communicate that even with your verbal when you're jumping on a call. If someone's interested in a certain class, for instance, make sure you have all of your classes highlighted and your classes are transparent even before sale. Now, we could get into the gym management softwares and how they are a horrible experience when you basically copy and paste over. iframe it is what we call it. but copy and paste over their calendars, that doesn't do anything. You need to have something for more pre-sale users. We're actually building a plugin right now made specifically for studios for this purpose, but you need to build a journey for them. And let me just give you a rough journey here so you can kind of understand this journey of trust that I'm telling you about. Let's say you have 50 members. We'll just do, to make it simple, let's say you strategically ask 5 of them for a review every day. Those 5 reviews, they give you a review on Google. That's one, building trust internally post sale, because they're thinking about you and they're giving you a review. You ask them to, hey, refer a friend. That friend, I promise you, even though he's referred by a friend, 90% of them are going to be like, well, let me look him up first. I want to get an idea of the look and feel and the experience. They're not saying this out loud, but this is what they're thinking. And make sure it's right for me. They'll go to Google. This is your first touch point, first or second, or they've already seen an ad and they kind of understand, and they go to Google and they search you. They see your positioning, you're communicating who you are, your classes, your basic pricing on Google Business Profile. And they're like, oh, they see the reviews. And they're like, this pricing may be, I just don't know yet. I'm afraid $95 a month may be a lot for me. I'm still hesitant. I'm going to go to their website. Go to their website. Their friend told them about John Doe, which is this great trainer. So they're like, oh, here's John Doe. Oh, told me about him. He seems like something that can work out for me. Sees his profile. He has a class for this $95 a month program at this time on Tuesdays. That fits perfectly with my schedule. So now you've already cut out a lot of their ifs, and then they're like, oh, I'll call them now. So leveraging the pricing and different touch points is really beneficial to making that sale. And so you want to reinforce your position as a studio via your website is kind of your resort for your hub to really bring people in. Don't use it, if you're one studio location, don't leverage it for blogging. Don't leverage it. You can do Facebook advertisement. I mean, we have partners that do Facebook advertisement, but don't overly reliant. The cost per click is huge. You're not an e-commerce store. You're not a volume play. You don't have 50 locations. But really find a way to showcase pricing in that way. You can, even if you want to go even further on that community, which we'll talk about later in another episode, go to events. Create direct marketing pieces. Like, these are good first starting and cheaper methods that you can do where you can showcase that pricing effectively in hitting the right audience. 95 a month isn't that much, but you can look in your target area and be like, I want a list of this area because I know that the housing income is, let's say, $100 a year, and they're going to be able to afford a $95 a month package, or if it's $120 without a commitment, right? So look at things like that to really help define and make sure that pricing sticks. With strategic and transparent pricing, you can see clearer expectations and set those clear expectations for your audience. Pre-sale is what I want you to be thinking here, is pre-sale. And with that, you'll get stronger inquiries because of those pros I talked about earlier. You'll start building a consistent lead flow that way, because now that you're utilizing a framework of organic and pricing models, you'll start to see a trend of how many people a month, no matter the season, are starting to come in. And if you can start utilizing your pricing from that perspective, you'll start to see that sustainability. That's it for this episode. I'm your host, Zach Coleman, the Fit to Grit Cast. Thank you guys for sticking around. Again, subscribe, follow us, give us a review of this podcast if you feel like it's really helping you go through your day-to-day and learn new things. And as always, we'll talk next week.